This is Hank.
Hi, I'm Hank.
Hank is a cute noob on a money-making journey, trying out RuneScape's weirdest hidden money-making methods. His goal? To purchase himself some prestigious gilded armor.
Give me a gilded shower, baby.
Last episode, Hank made enough to afford 2 pieces. He got the chain body and the chain skirt, but his lust for gold has grown stronger.
Every waking minute, every waking hour, it plagues my mind.
So today, we're gonna help Hank become a traveling merchant, finding which stores in old school RuneScape make the most profit. And let me tell you, there's a lot.
Ooh la la.
Hello and welcome. Today we're going to attempt to make some serious GP by buying and selling from shops. We'll tally up the scores and track down which stores have the ultimate best money making potential. Let's see if we can make Hank even richer. First, we'll be heading to Grum's Gold Exchange in Port Sarim. Grum will buy a range of jewelry for quite a decent price. If you look at his stock, you can see he'll buy some items above the Grand Exchange price. I've bought some jewelry that should give us a hefty profit. I've got diamond necklaces, diamond rings, and ruby rings that cost me about 505k. Let's see how long it takes to sell these off and how much profit we can make. We'll need to hop worlds to keep the purchase price high. I'll be selling 5 of each item and hopping. Alright, we managed to sell these off for 592k, which means we made a profit of 87k in about 5 minutes, which gives us a potential profit of over 1 mil per hour. Keep in mind that a few worlds already had items sold to the store, which reduces how much GP you will make. Next up, we'll be heading to Tavali, where a character named Gaius, or Gaius, will purchase 2-handed swords. If we have a look at Gaius's shop, we can see he's quite generous on certain items, specifically this really weird item. What is that? Oh, it's a subscribe button. I think Gaius wants you to press it. Not really, but that would be greatly appreciated. Okay, like the last store, I'll be selling my wares and hopping worlds. This time, I've got adamant, mithril, and black 2-handed swords, which cost me just under 586k. Let's see how much we can make from good old Gaius. Alright, we managed to sell our swords in about 4 minutes for 611k, which means we made a profit of 43k. That would equal out to an approximate hourly profit of 645k. Alright, next we have a classic item, the Mythic Seed. After the Legends quest, you can purchase these at the Legends Guild. There are 6 in stock per world, so this method requires quite a bit of hopping. We can buy these for 300 GP and apparently sell them off for around 500 GP. And the great thing about this method is that they stack, so you can stay here for as long as you want. An easy way to get here is with the fairy ring code BLR, or with a quest cape if you have one. I'll try this for 20 minutes and see how many seeds we can get. Alright, we managed to get 660 mithril seeds for just under 205k, and they sold on the Grand Exchange for 326k, meaning we made a profit of 121k. If we times that by 3, we'd make approximately 360k per hour. Next, we'll be heading to the island city of Jatizo, which has an armor store that buys and sells mithril armor. To access this island, you'll need to complete the Fremenic Trials quest. Speak to Maud Gunners in this dock in Relica, and he will sail you there. This store will buy certain mithril items for higher than the Grand Exchange price. I bought a bunch of mithril plate bodies, plate legs, and kite shields for 497k. Let's see how long it takes to sell these off and how much we make. Alright, we sold our mithril armor off for 640k in 4 minutes, which is a profit of 143k. This gives us a potential profit for 2.1 mil per hour, which is the largest profit we have seen. But stay tuned, because there is another method later on in this episode that beats it. Alright, now we'll try the White Knight Armory, which has a great range of items to buy, but does require the Wanted quest. This method is especially effective if you've unlocked the Master rank, which requires 1,300 Black Knight kills, since you unlock the entire shop. One of the problems with white armor is that it doesn't have a high trade volume, so we need to be a bit careful. I've decided to try the plate body, plate legs, and boots, which all have a daily volume of around 200. I'll be hopping worlds to keep the price low, and banking at the crafting guild. Let's get 100 of each and see how much we can make. Alright, it took just over 15 minutes to collect 100 plate bodies, plate legs, and boots, which cost us 633k. We ended up selling the lot for 989k, which means we made a profit of 356k with 15 minutes of work, giving us an hourly profit of approximately 1.4 mil, which is great. Just keep in mind, you'll need to leave these in overnight to sell. Okay, next we'll be heading to a strange location, that being Uriel's Supplies in Berg de Rot, which is the general store. We're here for one item and one item only, thin snails. They can be purchased for 6 GP each, and apparently they sell at the Grand Exchange for around 700 GP, which is quite a juicy markup. To access this shop, you'll need to complete the quest in aid of the Myriqui, and a good way to get there is using the Shades of Morton minigame teleport, then running south. A better option is teleporting with Mauritania Legs 3 or higher if you have them. I'll be banking at the Crafting Guild and teleporting back and forth with my Mauritania Legs, but there is a bank nearby, so you can just use that as well. Let's see how many snails we can get in 20 minutes. Alright, we managed to buy 567 snails for about 3.7k. which sold off for 331k, which is a total profit of 327k. Times that by 3, and we'd make approximately 981k per hour. Keep in mind that you'll need to wait a few hours for the snails to sell off. Next, we'll be heading to the city of Prifddinas, which does have quite a high requirement of Song of the Elves quest. If you do manage to unlock the city, there's quite a few money-making methods, from the Gauntlet to pickpocketing elves to Zolcano, but of course, we'll be focusing on the shops. First up, we'll be trying Guinevere's Dyes. This store sells a range of different dye that can be sold at the Grand Exchange for a fairly hefty profit. We'll specifically be focusing on red, orange, green, and purple dye. As per usual, we'll be buying the dye, hopping worlds to keep the price low. Let's see how many of these we can get in 20 minutes. Alright, I managed to get 180 dye in 20 minutes, which cost me about 4.3k. They sold in the Grand Exchange for just under 450k, which means we made a profit of just over 445k. Times that by 3 and we'd make approximately 1.3 mil per hour, which is great. The orange dye was by far the best, selling for 891 GP, so you could possibly just target those. But the purple and green were also extremely good, selling for 665 GP and 693 GP. The red dye, not so good. You might just want to leave that one. Next up, we have a store in Prifddinas that we're going to sell to, which is Gwym's Mining Emporium. Gwym will buy a few pickaxes for more than the Grand Exchange price. I'll be selling rune and mithril pickaxes, which cost me 1,844,828 GP. Let's see how long it takes to sell these off, and how much profit we can make. Alright, in 4 minutes we sold off our pickaxes for 1,864,800 GP, which gives us a total profit of about 20k. So this method would make approximately 300k per hour, and this method had a higher buy-in amount, so I wouldn't recommend this. Now we'll be heading to the desert city of Sophonim, where we can find Ratul, a trader who sells desert robes, linen, silk, needles, and thread, but I'm interested in the linen. We can buy them for 30 GP each, and they apparently sell on the Grand Exchange for 915 GP each. The only problem I can see is it has a daily volume of 147, and a buy limit of 15, so it might take quite a while to sell these off. To access the city, you will need to have completed Ichloren's Little Helper, and the best option to travel here is teleporting using the Pharaoh's Scepter, but you can also take the Magic Carpet system from Povnich. There is a bank in Sophonim located northeast of the city, down a ladder, which is actually pretty close to the store, but you will need to have completed the quest Contact, so I highly recommend that as well. Let's see how many linen I can buy in 20 minutes. Alright, we managed to buy 726 linen, which cost 23.5k, but there was a problem with this method. I left an offer in overnight, and when I woke up, only 65 had sold for 915 GP, which gave us just under 59k. So I ended up playing 1 GP roulette to see how much I could make from the rest. But even with a 1 GP offer, only 43 more sold off instantly. There really isn't much demand for this item. If we left the offer in, the linen would have eventually sold for 660k, giving us a profit of around 1.9 mil per hour. But you'd need to leave the offer in for a very long time to let it slowly sell. Now, from the desert to the jungle, we'll be heading to Davin's amulet store in Brimhaven. Davin is in the business of buying amulets, with his store stock being 0. Fortunately for us, he'll buy almost all of these amulets for more than the Grand Exchange price, especially if you're wearing Karamja gloves, which I highly recommend. We'll be selling defense amulets, strength amulets, and power amulets, which I bought for 413k. A great way to get here is by changing your house location to Brimhaven and teleporting to house. You can also take a charter ship. Let's see how long it takes to sell these off and how much money I make. Alright, I sold my amulets off for 568k in about 4 minutes, which gives us a total profit of 155k, meaning that this has the potential to make 2.3 mil per hour, which is by far the best method we've ever come across on this channel. And on top of that, I'm I'm also an idiot and forgot to wear my Karamja gloves, so this method could actually make even more. I would highly recommend that you give this one a go. Now for the moment that we've all been waiting for. How much money did we make to put towards Hank's Gilded Armor Fund? We made a total of 1.7 mil, which means we have just enough GP to unlock one more piece of armor for Hank, that being the Gilded Boots.
Hi, I'm Hank.
I hope you enjoyed the video. Please consider subscribing and leaving a comment and a like. I've been overwhelmed by your amazing comments and all the support that you guys have had, so thank you so much for that. I'll be back next week with another video. Okay, bye.